So if you want to cheat and get all the gold country geocaches quickly, that's the easiest way to do it. Oh, I think we're live.
Perfect. Well, that will be the answer to our quiz tonight.
Yeah, you're stuck with me regardless.
Well, look at you.
Wits End.
How do?
How do you do?
Okay. I was driving home when you texted me, trying to get here in time, so I have just walked in and turned stuff on, and then, of course, my browser kept crashing. I can't load that plugin. Do this.
With the way you felt today, I thought maybe you weren't going to make it.
Oh, I couldn't really make my performance on the podcast any worse.
Goodness me. All right. Well, we are just doing our little pre-show warm-up here. We'll kick off shortly for those who are watching us live, like Brylang is. And we'll just insert pregnant pauses every once in a while.
Whoa! What are you saying?
Was that another racy statement? Sorry, wasn't intended to be. Entirely, a little bit.
So I am even less prepared and up to speed than I normally am.
And it's really hard to listen and type. I thought I had this down better.
What are you typing?
Oh, the question.
Ah. Where are you typing it?
And
All right. Well, before we get going, for those who are listening live, we are going to have another in-show contest this week.
Ooh.
So,
Can I enter?
yes, you will not win, but feel free to enter.
Okay. So like normal?
Right.
We're so sad.
Wits End, are you prepared to go?
Sure.
Before we start actually recording, Bad Cop, how are the audio levels? Am I too hot? I feel like I'm too hot.
Turn down the temperature. You seem fine.
I've often felt that you're pretty hot.
Okay. I feel that the amplitude of the sound on my side may be too high.
Woohoo prizes. No, your amplitude is just fine.
Oh, good. How is my attitude?
Well, your amplitude defines your attitude. No.
This show is more concerned about latitude.
Well, I sometimes struggle with my latitude, but my longitude is pretty good.
All right.
You did not just go there.
We're all at a fairly similar longitude, right?
Yes.
Generally speaking.
Fairly similar. Not exactly.
Okay.
Except for Terri.
Let's get this show going.
Please do. Just note that I may mute and go off and have a hacking coughing fit and then come back. So,
okay.
If I disappear, don't panic.
If you truly do hack up a lung, I want to see it.
Okay.
I don't.
Bring it in for show and tell.
Okay. Here we go, folks. Well, you found us on another Thursday night. Welcome to Caching in the Northwest. This is the only podcast dedicated to geocaching in the Great Pacific Northwest. We'll talk about caches and cachers unique to this little corner of the country. So drop your pans and your sluice boxes and pick up your GPSr. It's time to go gold country caching in the Northwest.
That's right, and it's also time to bring in our internet-enabled co-host. You know, some say he broadcasts his lunchtime geocache finds on Periscope, and others say that he won't sign the logs for those who watch. All we know is he's called Land Monkey.
It's all true, every word of it. And it was fun today to sneak out for a cache at lunch and share the experience with. I actually had 20 live viewers on Periscope. It blew my mind. I was surprised, including many of our geocaching friends across Canada and the U.S. What a great social media tool Periscope is. It was a lot of fun, and I actually had a lengthy chat during driving lessons with my son tonight about the use of Periscope in different scenarios. So it was a bonding moment. Anyways, this week, speaking of bonding moments, this week we are pleased to bring back a popular guest to the show, Terri Hadwin of Gold Country. Terri, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, sorry?
Just say we're glad you're here, that's all.
We are very glad you're here. And folks, you know that we love hearing from you about your favorite caches and caching locations in the Northwest in your own voice each week on our podcast. And please, please, please be sure to use the voicemail tool on the website to send us your favorite cache, and we will play it on the podcast soon. Your message just needs to be about 15 seconds. That's enough time to say your geocaching name, the GC code, the name of the cache, and why you liked it. Now, this week, via email, we heard from listener Dune Buddy. I still like that name. That's so fun. Mm-hmm. Dune Buddy writes and says, "My favorite cache in the Northwest is one I learned about while listening to this podcast. Yay! It's GCW6EM Doctor Who in Portland. Hey, great cache. It is a great cache. It's a great cache that takes a little thinking, but once you figure it out, you will get a big smile that matches the smiley you've earned. During show 114, you talked about GC3B Potter's Pond. This is one of 3 caches in the U.S. that were placed in August 2000. The other 2 are in Michigan and Georgia. I tried to find this cache a couple of years ago to fill in this Jasmer month, but it was the end of October and the snow had started to fall at this high altitude. Our rental car could not get close to the ground zero, our rental car could get close to the ground zero, but could not make it up a hill through the snow. Not to be deterred, we parked the car. Sorry, I lost it. I'm getting back on track here. All right. So, Dune Buddy writes, "Not to be deterred, we parked the car and started walking towards the cache. We reached a small stream, and without waterproof boots and concerned about hungry bears, we decided to throw in the towel. It took me another 2 years on another trip between Denver and Portland that was routed through Utah just to attempt this cache when I made the find. The last block of old caches on my Jasmer chart." So there you go. Well, congratulations, Dune Buddy, and thank you very much for the feedback.
Yeah, that's an incredible accomplishment to fill in that Jasmer chart too. That's not easy. Especially the longer it goes, the harder it gets.
That's right.
Just aren't around anymore.
I'm amazed that there are only 3 caches left that were placed in August 2000.
Yeah.
So one of them to be in this area is actually pretty cool.
That's very nice. And he mentions hungry bears in that description. We had some feedback from 3 Hams in a Row via Facebook. He said, "I now know what a running full-grown black bear looks like," and I actually don't want to know what that looks like. But
running away is okay.
Yeah. But let me share what 3 Hams in a Row shared, and I'll just live vicariously through him. He says, "I met the cute feller in Coquitlam at GC43KD7. A geocache ironically called Mini Guy Surprise, located in a small urban park surrounded by houses on 3 sides and a busy road on the 4th. Tennis courts, swings, slides, etc. Did I mention it was an urban park where bears don't belong? We saw each other from about 50 feet. He took off running in one direction, trying to scramble over a 5-foot backyard fence. I took off the other direction. I have to say that's exactly the direction I would go. Whatever his direction, he's not. as I wasn't carrying my bear spray or my hunting knife. Turns out I can run faster in my hiking boots and injured knee than can Usain Bolt in his golden Puma shoes. Fortunately, I hadn't found the cache yet, or else it would be lying scattered somewhere on the trail right now. I guess that's it for caching anywhere other than parking lots until winter sets in. And no, he says, I didn't get any photos.
So no wrestling.
Yeah, no wrestling, no photos of bears, no posing with bears, no bear selfies, because that will close a county or a city or a state park, whatever that was, because people were taking too many bear selfies.
And why wouldn't you take a selfie with a bear? I mean, come on.
I'll give you a long list of reasons why I would not take a bear selfie. Thank you very much. But we don't have time tonight.
All right. Well, speaking of long lists of things, there's definitely a growing list of caches in the Visit Rainier Centennial Geo Tour. And we hear from Hide and Seek via Facebook that it's ready, set, go for Series 2 of the Visit Rainier Centennial Geo Tour. It launches on Friday, October 9th at 9 a.m. to be exact. And we are encouraged to check out the new path tag if we take a look at Facebook. The new passport should be available on the Visit Rainier site the day before the launch, and that URL is visitrainier.com/Centennial Geotour. And Hide and Seek sends out thanks to the 17 cachers who have contributed to this series of 25 caches.
How very cool.
We like shiny things.
Terri, do you have somebody there that wants to see the path tag?
My dog Bruce wants some of the limelight.
Well, everybody wants to be on Caching in the Northwest.
Yes, of course.
Well, one more bit of news. This time it's an iTunes review from Subway Mark. He wrote just a few days ago, Bad Cop, Wits End, and Land Monkey make a great trio which make listening to the show interesting, entertaining, and funny. It's focused on geocaching in the Pacific Northwest, which includes Western Canada.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
Subway Mark, thank you so much for an iTunes review. We really do appreciate that. That helps promote the podcast throughout the entire iTunes ecosystem. So I sure do appreciate that.
Absolutely. That was awesome. Thank you very much, Subway Mark. And we certainly encourage any of the listeners to, if you feel so motivated, to write us a sincere review of what you actually think of the podcast. I was listening to, the interesting, entertaining, and funny, and I was wondering if Subway Mark was maybe confusing podcasts at first, but certainly appreciate that feedback. That's awesome. We try hard to be interesting and entertaining and funny to look at.
Oh, I thought each of us was just one of those things.
Do I get to pick which one I am?
I was trying to decide.
No, I think he listed them in order.
Oh, okay.
So Bad Cop would be interesting, Wits End is entertaining, and Land Monkey's funny.
Okay.
Looking.
Well, at least you're funny.
That's right. Hey, how does that go?
If the women don't find you handsome,
at least they'll find you. Handy. There you go.
Should at least find you handy.
That's right.
Thank you. You knew exactly where I was going with that.
Well, I guess if I have to. Hey, you know who's been bugging me lately? The Caching in the Northwest research staff has been pestering me to ask all of you, our privileged listeners, if you have been caching in the Northwest on a motorcycle. If so, please write feedback at cachingnw.com and let us know. We'd love to talk with you.
Or if you've listened to this podcast while on a motorcycle, I'd like to hear that too. Why not?
Interesting.
There you go. Terri, do you know anybody who's gone geocaching on a motorcycle? Let us know.
I do, yeah. There's a couple that are from Kamloops that go geocaching on motorbikes.
So there you go.
There we go. We got to
Tell
get
them
them on
to
the
write
show.
to us. We want to talk
I
to
will.
them. All right.
Well,
You're hired.
guys, how has your week been? Did you get out on any adventures, that weren't maybe broadcast on the internet?
Yeah, actually, we did. but they were broadcast on the internet. We were at a CETO event on Sunday.
Oh, yes. I got to see a little of that.
And we did. We did a couple relatively quick periscopes from there. I'm starting to get the hang of doing the periscope, and I'm finding there's a bit of technique to it. You could just sort of turn it on and go, but my objective in using periscope is to actually make it compelling to view. So I'm trying to make sure that if I'm going to do something on periscope, that there's a certain amount of value to anybody who's going to watch it.
I was going to say, that doesn't seem to fit with many of the people I've seen using Periscope.
Well, there you go. I want to stand on the shoulders of giants. Or maybe provide shoulders for giants. I'm not sure. But yeah, so we were at a CETO event, which was a lot of fun. And then after the CETO event, we went to, wait for it, Tim Hortons, and had a planning meeting for our GPSr event.
Nice.
How about you,
So
back
you
top?
had to walk the 6 feet over to a Tim Hortons after the CETO?
That's right.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just
2 meters?
asking what your adventures were.
It wouldn't be feet, it would be meters.
Yeah, sorry. I'm still working on filling out my finds calendar. So I went out and, there was when my son was doing parkour, I found a geocache. It was like a 3.5 difficulty, so I thought, it's going to be a little effort to find this. I walk right up to it. Boop, there it is. It's a little nano. And I walk back to my car. There's a lot of houses around, so I figure I'm just going to snag it, take it back to my car, sign it. So I open it up, I sit down in the car, and the lid rolls out of my hand. And I hear it hit plastic. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, fine. I got it right here. I can't find it. I have the ashtray open because my phone was sitting in there. I move the ashtray and I watch it go bloop, right down into the bottom of the console. I need that. How am I going to... So geocaching made me tear my car apart.
Did you physically remove the seats?
I did not have to go that far. But I did remove most of my center console right there around the gear shift and retrieve the top of the nano. I came home. Okay, here's the whole story. I came home. I thought, I've got a nano at home. I'll just put that nano out there, then I can take my car apart at my time, the time of my own choosing. Well, the top of my nano wouldn't fit.
Of course.
Well, I'll just change it out. No, this nano's a little taller, and the log wouldn't fit in my smaller nano. I didn't know multiple size nanos, but they apparently do. And so I ended up taking the car apart and returning the cache back to its proper location, grumbling, but I did it. So it's kind of an extra find. I think I should get 2 smileys for that.
There you go. Log it twice.
Nothing stopping you from logging it twice.
That's right.
Yeah, that's it. Wow.
Except, good habits and being polite and stuff like that. But other than that, go ahead.
So log nanos outside of a vehicle. So my tip for the show.
But not on a bridge.
Yeah, not recommended there either.
Might want to carry extra nanos in your car as replacement. Just saying. So, what about you, Wits End?
Well, I have been out for a few lunchtime grabs because the bad cop is working and filling out his calendar and doesn't like to cache alone, apparently, or something. So
it gets you out caching as well.
I was going to say, you know exactly which caches I found lately because, well, I've been with you. A couple of lunchtime grabs, no lost nanos on our adventures, thankfully. There's been quick grabs while we're stuffing our bellies and then heading back to work. But hey, they're all fun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Sounds like fun. Well, Terri, how about yourself? Have you had a chance to get out for any caching or even on a motorcycle since wrapping up the Gold Country events?
I haven't been on a motorcycle geocaching ever, but it's something I would definitely do. I've been to a couple of events. I went to the Richmond Geocaching Extravaganza event, which was my first event down in the Vancouver coast area. So that was a lot of fun. Met a lot of people that I had never met before. And we also had our volunteer appreciation evening where we gave thanks to the volunteers that help us put together the Cache for Gold geocaching event. And we bought them pizza and yeah, just had a general good time. And it's a good way to wrap up an event, I always feel, just to let them know that they're appreciated. I also found an earth cache while I was in Maui, so that was sort of fun. I got car sick when I got to the top, so that wasn't exactly the most fun, especially because there's not a lot of places to hide up there, so some people got to see the contents of my lunch.
Oh, that's no fun.
Yeah, no, it's not a fun story, but but at least I got my Hawaii souvenir. Ooh.
There you go.
So Terry, was that the summit of the big volcano, or was that on the road to Hana?
Oh no, I'm so glad I didn't do the road to Hela. No, it was just the summit, and yeah, just wasn't feeling good that day. So yeah, didn't it was beautiful, but yeah, not a lot of places to hide to toss your cookies.
There are some windy roads over on the islands, and I'm sorry about that. That's never a fun experience. However, it's really hard to feel sorry for you when you were in Maui.
I know. No.
Just
Until you
saying.
complain.
But no, that's no fun. I'm glad you're back, not so green anymore.
Me too, me too.
Speaking of colors like green things, let's go to gold. How about Gold Country? We understand the September long weekend was the big event up there for you folks, right?
Yeah, yeah,
People
great.
that haven't heard or missed out, can you explain exactly what that weekend looks like?
Well, every year for the last few years, we've had a geocaching event, and every year it's had a different theme. And this year's theme was the Gold Rush. So we toured through 4 different communities for 4 days, and people could pretty much choose their own routes that they wanted to take, because a lot of people were up in the area just kind of covering off the Gold Country Geo Tour geocaches as well as taking part in the events. So they kind of made their own routes and stayed where they wanted to stay. And at the end of it, all the participants had a chance to win a real gold bar. It was valued at $1,500.
Nice.
Wow. So Terry, how did the events go?
They went really well. They were a lot of fun. The first day we had in Lytton, which was had some live entertainment and great food and crafts and all that kind of stuff to check out. And second day we were in Ashcroft, and we had BC's largest outdoor movie set up. And we had some geocaching themed short films, and then we also had a feature film, The Night at the Museum, which was partly filmed in Ashcroft, so we thought that was pretty fitting. Somebody also pointed out to me that Hugh Jackman is a geocacher and he's in that movie, so it kind of fit in really nicely. Day 3 we were in Logan Lake, and we had some fun games and a free barbecue for our participants. And on the last day in Merritt, when we wrapped it all up, we just had a lot of socializing and some auctions of prizes. And then, yeah, we gave away a gold bar to Annabelle Glotz, who is from 100 Mile. And she discovered our event through our posters that we had put up. So that was pretty exciting.
Hold on. You just casually mentioned that you gave away a gold bar.
Right. Yes. No big deal.
No big deal. You're doing it all the time.
That's how they roll.
It's a polite Canadian thing to do.
Yeah,
so, what was the feedback?
The gold bar.
Tell me how this went. I'm giving away a gold bar.
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Oh, so, I mean, you just very casually mentioned that you gave away a gold bar. What was the general feedback on that idea of giving away a gold bar? Do you think that pulled in more people to come to your event?
I think it pulled in a few more people. I think for the most part, most people came for the socializing and for the geocaching and just being in the area. One geocacher said, I couldn't make it to this year's event, and I was really bummed because coming to Gold Country feels like coming home. And I was like, that's an amazing statement.
Nice.
So I think that quite a few of our geocachers that attend our events feel the same way. They get to socialize with people that they only get to see once a year, and so I think the gold bar was just a really fun extra little perk for a lot of people.
Very cool. Now, did you publish a lot of new caches specifically for the event, or the old ones, and if you did new ones, are they still available, or are they only active during the event itself?
No, there was just under 100 new geocaches released in the area, and they're all still actively maintained by the volunteer that set them up.
Nice.
Wow. So you had events over 3 days, right? In different areas, different communities?
4 days.
4 days. So how was traveling between those? Were there traffic jams on the freeway? Was the cachers, stopping to pull over and grab those caches right off the freeway?
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of traffic jams in our rural communities, which is a nice perk. There was quite a bit of distance in between some of the communities and some of the geocaches to find, but with the GeoTour caches hidden there, here and there, and older geocaches and new ones, there's enough to keep people busy along their routes. So I think that a lot of people really enjoy the leisurely drives and stopping here, there, and everywhere to get the geocaches that they wanted. Most of them were filling out their sticker books, as they call them.
Cool.
Fantastic. So, Terri, I'm sure everybody wants to know what's planned for next year.
So for next year, we will be holding the 4th annual Gold Country Geocaching event during the September long weekend. And we are doing it in cahoots with the British Columbia Geocaching Association, which is something very, very exciting. They will be hosting the first day when we kick it off in Lillooet, and then the other 3 communities haven't been announced yet, and but people can still plan for the September Labor Day weekend in 2016 to start off in Lillooet.
Cool deal. I'm a big fan of getting into cahoots with people, and if you're going to be in cahoots with people, the BCGA is a pretty good group to be in cahoots with.
I agree.
Just saying. Now, if people are thinking about going, but they're kind of on the fence, not sure, what tips might you offer them to maximize their Gold Country experience for next year's event in cahoots with the BCGA, by the way?
I definitely recommend signing up to our e-newsletter, which is on our goldtrail.com website, which is a website that we have established that is all of our geocaching information. So our GeoTour stuff is listed on there, and we also have a shop where you can find our books and our coins. And then there's also links to our events, but I definitely recommend that they sign up to the e-newsletter. We only send out e-newsletters maybe once every 2 or 3 months, so it's not like we're going to clog up your emails like Staples or Best Buy that sends you email once every 2 hours.
But I want to know what my weekly Gold Country GeoTour discount coupons are.
Yeah, exactly. Staff prices, which is the same as everybody else. So yeah, I definitely recommend that they check out those 2 places, goldtrail.com and to sign up for our e-newsletter.
Fantastic. Well, I asked a question earlier this week on Facebook if anybody had any questions or insights on their experiences with the Gold Country, and we did hear from a friend of the show, Brylang, who said, just a tip I picked up this summer during 2 visits to Gold Country. And he suggested that listeners should know that they are visiting small towns, and small towns where most of the businesses close by 5 or 6 p.m. So if you need anything, you need to plan to stop in a town during the day, and likewise watch your fuel gauge. Gas stations are few and far between, so fill up when you can if you're going to do a lot of the back roads driving. So I think that's some pretty good advice.
Absolutely.
We also heard from Three Hams and a Rose, who has some feedback for you, Terri, and that is he's wondering if there's any plans for the geotourism website to be a little more mobile friendly.
Yes, there is plans for that. We don't have a whole lot of funding for the Geo Tour program anymore, so it's all self-sustained through the sales of our books. So we are hoping to rally a little bit more funding through the sales of our books in 2016 to hopefully upgrade that website. It's not going to cost us a lot, but we still need to kind of rally the funds.
Okay, so the message here, if I understand it correctly, Terry, is if you like the Gold Country Geo Tour, buy the books.
There you
Absolutely. Pretty
Don't
please.
wait for the movie.
Don't wait for the movie.
Yeah.
Even if the movie was filmed in the Gold Country.
go. That's right. With huge Ackman.
We also heard in our Q&A from Brylang, who said that during the Gold Country event weekend, he drove about 1,400 kilometers visiting all the events and finding over 100 geocaches. That sounds like quite the weekend.
Yeah. That's over 100
Nice.
kilometers per cache, right?
Yeah. Anyways, so that's great feedback, and hopefully everybody who went up had a fantastic time. Terri, really sounds like it was a series of events. I always want to say event, but it really is multiple events over that September long weekend. And Terri, if anyone should want to get a hold of you or the Gold Country Geotourism team, where would you point them?
So, of course, the goldtrail.com website is pretty helpful, and then they can always call us or email us. We have many geocachers that just pop into the Gold Country office and say hi and hand in their sticker sheets or to just chit chat. So yeah, they can reach us in just about any way that they want. And I also recommend that they check out our exploregoldcountry.com website, because that'll help them to plan their trip. So it lets them know all of the accommodations that we have and places to eat and other businesses that they may need, including service stations. And yeah, just a general good tool to help plan your trip while you're staying with us.
Nice.
Love it. So goldtrail.com and exploregoldcountry.com. Of course, we'll have both of those in the show notes for you. So you'll be able to click on those and plan your route. Now, Gold Country has been so gracious as to offer a prize pack for today's show. So send an email with the answer to the following question along with your physical mailing address to feedback@cachingNW.com. All you have to do is answer this question. With whom will Gold Country be co-hosting the event with next year? Put that in an email, send it to feedback@cachingNW.com, and you could win a prize pack from Gold Country. How about that, huh? Who doesn't want to? Now, Terri, I don't think you're going to be sending out another gold bar, but we don't know.
We don't know. It's possible. I'll bet it's shiny, whatever it is.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
I love the idea of a gold bar. I saw that. I was like, really? A real gold bar?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is super cool. And even if it isn't a gold bar, Terri, we really appreciate the fact that you and the Gold Country team are willing to send out a prize to our wonderful, wonderful listeners just for answering that tricky yet somehow I'm sure they'll figure it out.
No.
And is that a time-limited offer, Bad Cop? Is that a...
Oh yes, by when should they have that answer?
Let's do this. Yeah, let's make it within the week. So we need that by October 14th,
Okay.
9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, October 14th. Go ahead and put a subject line of Gold Country on that. Send it to feedback@cachingNW.com with your gc.com username, your
And
physical
password.
mailing address, and the answer. With whom will Gold Country be co-hosting the event next year?
Awesome.
How's that?
And if you're listening to this podcast and it's after the 14th of October,
Feel free to send an email. You're not going to be in the prize drawing.
But we'd still love to hear from you.
there you go. All right. Well, I think that brings us towards the tail end of this show. And Terri, it has been an enormous pleasure to have you on the show once again. And hopefully, this will help raise some more awareness about that amazing geo tour and the fun, cool events that you co-host with a certain geocaching association in the province of British Columbia this coming fall, next fall, September.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. You are always welcome on our show.
Yes, of course you are.
Now, Bad Cop, under the assumption that people may want to find you on the internet, how would they go about doing that?
Well, you can find me on Twitter at CachingNW. I assume that's the same for Periscope, since I'm not as proficient in Periscope as a certain monkey man. Yes, it will be the same on Periscope. Facebook.com/CachingNW. Google Plus, you can go to google.com/+CachingNW. /+ is just fun to say. What about you, Wits End? Where can people find you?
Oh, I'm just Wits End. Just good old Wits End. Twitter.com. Find me on Twitter, Wits End. Facebook, Wits End. I think I've got about 4 likes on Facebook. Wits End, Google.com's got to mix it all up. So as you mentioned with yours, Google.com/+Wits End US, because it just needs to be more complicated. But everywhere else, I'm just pretty much Wits End. And Land Monkey, how about you guys?
Speaking of making things more complicated, the website is landmonkey.blogspot.ca, where we try and maintain the blog on a semi-regular basis. You can find us on Periscope, Twitter, and Instagram at LandMonkeyGC. And on Facebook, we're Team Land Monkey, and, of course, on the YouTubes, Land Monkey.
Nice. Now, before we close the show, we do have one more question in the Q&A, and this one is from Hubadub7, who says, does the prize go to everyone who answers the question correctly, or just one lucky person? And unfortunately, it's just one lucky person, so you better get your email in quickly with the correct answer.
Yeah. Thanks for asking and clearing that up.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
be lucky. You also have to be lucky.
Well, you have to be somewhat lucky. If you can hack into randomize.org or random.org to get your own name picked out there at the exact time that I happen to do it, feel free.
That seems like a lot easier way to win the prize pack.
Yeah, it does. Well, our research department has been busy working away, and we have some more great shows lined up for you. Next week, October 15th, we're expecting to have Chief Munzer, Rob Vardaman, to get us updated on Munzie 3.0, brand new app that came out, and it really is quite nice. So, guys, join us for Munzie. It's always been one of our very popular topics on this show, so we hope to see you then.
Awesome. Yes, and Munzie is definitely gaining popularity in the Northwest these days. All right. Well, folks, once again, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to this episode of Caching in the Northwest. Remember, you can be a part of the show. Call 253-693-TFTC and leave us a comment, ask us a question, send us your gold nuggets any time of the day or night. And, of course, you can email us at feedback@cachingnw.com. Also, your support helps to keep quality shows coming. If you like this show, please click the PayPal button on the CachingNW.com website. And this show, like many of the others, is licensed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license, copyright 2015 by Chris Umfenauer.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight, folks. See you next week. And we're clear from the recording.
Okay.
I guess
did a
it's
great
really
job.
no point in me silently waving
That was
for
a
the
very
audio.
royal wave you have.
Yes. It's hard to hear, though, when you're listening to the podcast.
Well, a truly skilled listener can hear it wave.
The whoosh, whoosh past the microphone. Where are we going, Terri?
I'm letting my dog out.
Show us if
He's
there's any
been
bears
whining
in the
and
backyard.
crying at my feet for like 20 minutes. Poor guy.
Oh. Poor puppy.
So this Sunday, there is an Earth Cache find. Well, everybody has to go find their own.
Yeah.
But it's Earth Cache Sunday. I guess that's how you say it, right? National Earth.
International Earth Cache Day.
Is it Earth Cache Day? Not Earth Day's in April.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is not Earth Day. It is Earth Cache Day.
Yeah, this is far more important.
We're celebrating the very first Earth Cache. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was recently an announcement that the GGIF events, if you attend a GGIF event on the GGIF long weekend, it's not a long weekend, but
it'll seem that way.
Yeah.
You will get also a souvenir for that.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah. I've got one happening right here near my home at local university. I'm planning to attend that one.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. We're very excited about our local GGIF event we're going to have in Coquitlam up here. It is intended to be a star-studded celebrity event where every geocacher is a star. We've encouraged people to dress up either in their best finery or as their favorite movie character, and it sounds like a lot of people are really going to get into it.
That sounds so fun.
I have heard good things about your event.
Sorry, Bad Cop, I talked over you.
It's no problem. I have heard good things about your event, Land Monkey. Other podcasts are talking about it. It seems like this will be the event for the weekend. So
cool.
Well,
just to let you know, no pressure.
It may even be Paris. Who knows?
Oh, there you go.
Hey, we've got an active Q&A once again.
Yeah. So there's some interesting ones here. IHAM says, what is the sound of a podcaster waving? And of course, his son, B. Pendragon, says, if a podcaster waves in the forest, but no one is there to record it, does it still happen? And then 3Ham says, Man Monkey's voice is so soothing that when he reads it out loud at the end of the show, can you record some children's bedtime stories?
Absolutely. I would be pleased to lend my talents to that. The only problem is, you never know when I will break out into a monkey laugh. Which...
There you go.
Which may not help the slumbering of the children.
There you go.
Dad, I do not like my little bed. This is not good. This is not right. My feet stick out of bed all night. And when I pull them in, oh dear, my head sticks out of bed up here. Probably not the bedtime story I wanted.
Well, it works, though. We have a listener that I don't know their geocaching name to, so perhaps they're a first-time listener, first time in the Q&A. R. Brown says, "Nice show, guys. It was great listening to Terri. We've attended all 3 event weekends they've held."
Awesome.
So there you go.
That's
You've got
BC
a
Rockcrawler.
repeat attender.
BC Rockcrawler, is that who you said that was?
Yeah.
Oh,
Awesome.
right. Great.
Well, BC Rockcrawler, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you for the Q&A. And of course, we get the woohoo. I can't say those letters because that's the answer to the question.
Woohoo, that organization. Woohoo, that answer.
Yeah, it's like the first 3 letters of the alphabet, skip a few, and then there's one more. Who knew?
Hint, hint.
And 3Ham says, "Thanks for scoping that Ceto. I didn't show up near the end, so I missed seeing most of the folks, but I saw them on Terri, which is the scoping he talked about."
Of course.
I thought he meant the Perry the platypus, so I was a little confused for a moment.
Apparently, scoping is the appropriate verb to describe a periscope session.
You're scoping it. I thought scoping things out was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was
Depends what you're doing.
I can't keep up with the kids nowadays.
Darn kids.
If you don't get caught.
It doesn't make it any less wrong. Ryling wants to know, are you sure it wasn't Perry the platypus? No, his show's been canceled.
Oh, but he was at the Ceto. He was
Is
pulling
that the code
blackberries.
to end the podcast?
He could be at the GPSr.
Oh, that's right.
That would be very cool if somebody showed up as Perry the Platypus. All right. So that was a very active Q&A this evening. Oh my goodness, and it keeps going.
One more. Bryling again on another geocaching podcast. They trademarked PSAF, Periscope a Friend. In addition, PAF, Phone a Friend.
And TAF, Text a Friend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose, yeah, there's really no limit to the different social media tools you could use when you're struggling for a cache.
Can't you geocaching message a friend? That's GCMAF.
You could, but that's going to entirely depend on whether or not that friend is actively using the geocaching.com app.
Or you're really patient.
Or you're really patient. I'm just going to stay around this ground zero-ish area for a couple of days.
Yeah, they'll get back to me. I know they will.
I might be
customer wants to know. Where's Perry?
But
Okay, folks, with that, we're going to sign off for tonight.
Are we? Are we done? Is that it?
I think so.
Is that all the fun we can have?
That's all the fun that can be had.
All right. Well, Terri, thanks again for coming on the show.
Thanks for inviting me.
Yes, great to have you.
And thanks all the listeners and the new listeners, BC Rockcrawler and anybody else who is out there listening live for the first time. We sure love having you guys.
Good night.
Have a great weekend.
Night, everybody.